Hey guys, it's Melanie. Happy Tuesday. Today we are talking about skincare again, and we are on the topic of toners. So toners are typically the second step in an average skincare routine. Toners are one of the few skincare routine items that I think are okay to eliminate from a skincare routine if you are either on a really tight budget or you just don't have the time for it. That being said, I have to admit that for me, toners play a pretty big part of my skincare routine, and I have really come to rely heavily upon them. And the toners that I personally choose, and I will show you a bunch of toners today. I will also put links for all of them down below, so if you want to go read up more about them, check out price point, that kind of stuff, that information will be in the description box down below. But they're one of the items in my routine that I've really come to depend upon to infuse specific ingredients into my skin, especially ingredients that I know for me personally make a big difference because of my skin type, which is very oily. I have to admit that earlier on in life, and I mentioned this in my 90s skincare routine, the way that I used to use toners was just the wrong way. I used the wrong products, and those probably did a lot more damage to my skin than good. So I will be telling you guys a few things to avoid in toners today as well. I will tell you some ingredients that are worth looking for in the ingredient deck when you are choosing a toner. So we'll kind of talk about that as well. So I thought I would go ahead and start. I did make some notes for myself, you guys, so I didn't want to forget anything. So I do have those in front of me. I apologize if it looks like I'm reading from them, but my mom brain does not really allow me to memorize scripts at this point in life. I'm 41. The brain cells appear to be dying. So, okay, toners. So here are some, I guess, typical reasons that people use toners. A lot of people use toners to try to shrink their pores. And certainly there are toners out there that can do that. Preferably don't use toners like Sea Breeze, for example, that has just most of that is alcohol, like denatured alcohol. What is the other one? SD alcohol 40. There's some really bad alcohols out there, and especially like in the 80s and 90s, a lot of toners contained pretty high concentrations of alcohol. And does that temporarily shrink your pores and soak up all the excess oil? Yes, but that's really not good, and we've talked about that multiple times. Toners can also, in a positive way, help to restore the skin's pH balance after cleansing. So that is certainly something that is a good thing for the skin, balancing that pH after you've used a soap that is perhaps very alkaline. It can bring your skin back to the proper balance. Toners can help to close the pores. They can tighten the cell gaps to reduce the penetration of impurities or environmental contaminants, so they're great for that as well. They can act as a moisturizer, so a lot of toners have some really wonderful humectants in them that can help to, especially if you have dry skin, help to rehydrate the skin, and then go in obviously with other moisturizers based on your skin's need. But if you're extremely oily, sometimes a really nice humectant toner can go a long way in providing you with an adequate amount of moisturizer, especially for daytime. They can also help to prevent ingrown hairs. So I do know that a lot more women these days are shaving their faces or having dermaplaning done, whatever you want to call it. But if you are using a razor to remove the peach fuzz from your face or to dermaplane your skin, sometimes you can get ingrown hairs. And if you are using toners that have either an AHA or a glycolic acid, that is going to help to prevent those ingrown hairs as your hair regrows. I don't personally shave my face. It's not something that I'm super comfortable with the idea of for myself, but I know a lot of people do it and they really love the results. I personally am just living with the peach fuzz. It does show up in pictures, I've noticed, especially as of late. My Oma had a very like peach fuzzy kind of face. I don't view it as a bad thing, so I leave it myself. But if you do shave your face, a toner that has either an AHA or a lactic acid or glycolic acid in it can certainly help to keep the pores nice and clear. So typically toners are the last step in a skin cleansing routine for a lot of people. Essences, on the other hand, which I think sometimes get thrown in with toners, are typically seen as the first step in the treatment part of the routine. So if you're someone who subscribes to like the Korean 10-step skincare routine, toners and essences for you are a very different thing. For some people, they are kind of the same thing. For me, I think that I use toners more as, I would say now I use them a little bit more like an essence than something that is part of my cleansing routine. Since I've started double cleansing, I just don't see the need to use a toner with like a cotton pad to remove excess makeup anymore, because I'm getting it all with the two-step cleansing process. So I do use a cleansing balm first to remove the makeup, and then I use my cleanser to clean deep down into the skin and get rid of all of the residue from the makeup remover, if that makes sense. So yeah, for me, toners now really play more of an essence type role. So I actually apply my toners by pouring them into the palm of my hand and then pressing them into my skin, really taking the time to then also massage them into my skin. And it has just become a part of my daily routine. And I actually find that a lot of my toners are working even better now that I am doing the two-step cleansing process. So if you are not in that mode quite yet, I would highly encourage you to go down that road and really think about a double cleanse. It makes a very big difference. So let's talk about some ingredients to avoid. I've already mentioned the alcohol. If you see either denatured alcohol or the SD alcohol 40 in the ingredient list, that is going to be a less than ideal toner. Alcohol really is not great for the skin. That being said, there are certain products that are formulated with a small amount of those bad alcohols for the purpose of disrupting the skin's barrier and helping the other ingredients dive deeper into the skin. That being said, I think the formulations have to be very carefully made. I think that the good ingredients definitely have to be near the top of the ingredient deck, and that, you know, the formula is just well thought out. So I don't always immediately toss products that I notice that have some bad alcohols in them. I'm just very careful and look at the remainder of the ingredients to make sure that it was formulated in a way that is actually good for my skin and is not going to dry up my skin and then create the issue of my skin overproducing oils, which for me typically is like the first side effect of using the bad alcohols on my skin. Is my skin just wants to then start overproducing oil, which was a huge issue when I was first getting into skincare when I was 12, 13, middle school, high school years. Fragrance is really another thing that you should avoid when you are looking for toners. Again, that being said, I am not someone who purposely avoids products that contain fragrance. If it's near the bottom of the ingredient list, I'm not quite as concerned about it. My skin just doesn't have a bad reaction to fragrance, but a lot of people do. And some people just don't want smelly things near their face. Now, that being said, I do have a lot of people that sometimes complain about the smell of fragrance-free skincare products that I've recommended in the past. And I have to come back and say, well, so you're smelling the ingredients that are within the formulation, and sometimes those don't smell the best. I mean, they may not be downright disgusting, but they could smell kind of off. And certainly products can go bad, but here's the thing. If they're still within their like time frame of being safe, they're not expired, then what you're smelling is most likely just the ingredients. So there are some people that don't like that. So I think a small amount of fragrance for me personally is okay, but I would really, if I'm making like an across the board statement, try to avoid it if you can. Another thing to try to avoid, and this is just because some people are sensitive, essential oils. I really think keeping them away from your face is probably ideal. That being said, there are some that I use that I don't personally have a reaction to, but if you are at all sensitive in any kind of way, or you see something on the ingredient deck that you know that you're allergic to, obviously avoid those products. So those are kind of the main ingredients I think to avoid. There's a whole plethora of skincare ingredients that you should be looking for, and I made a list. So I'm gonna read it off. Hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, peptides, propolis, beta hydroxy acid, glycolic acid, alpha hydroxy acid, lactic acid. Glycerin is wonderful humectant, aloe, vitamin C, amino acids, prebiotics, green tea, all wonderful ingredients to look for in toners. Speaking of, let's talk about some of my favorite toners that I highly recommend if you are in the market for incorporating some into your routine. Some of these are in the form of facial mists. Some of them are in the more traditional toner format where you pour it out of a little thing at the top. So why don't we start with this one? Okay, you guys, there's actually a couple from Derma E that I really highly recommend. Derma E is a wonderful drugstore skincare line that is cruelty-free, which is super important to me. I think their formulations are fantastic. They're gluten-free, they're soy-free. They use recyclable packaging. They're a great drugstore skincare line. If you've never looked into them, take a look at Derma E. So their Derma E Essentials Radiance Toner has glycolic acid as well as rooibos in it. Wonderful. Their Anti-Wrinkle Toner has vitamin A and glycolic acid in it. Again, fantastic. I've already gone through a full one of these. You've seen one of these in my empties. Here she is again, because it's good. One of my latest, most amazing finds, again, I'm linking these down below, so if I forget to say the name or whatever, or you don't know where to buy them, the information is down there. This is the CosRx Propolis Synergy Toner. So this has both propolis as well as honey extract in it. Ooh, you guys, those of you that have sensitive, those of you that have very dry skin, you need to look into this. First off, CosRx it's a great skincare brand overall, but these propolis and this propolis toner, they also have a propolis oil as well. I haven't tried that, but that is definitely next on my list. The ingredient list here is pretty basic. Not only does it have the propolis and the honey extract, it also has glycerin in it. It has panthenol, another great skin conditioner. This one I am loving to use in the morning, although there's some nights where I even put it on my skin at night. But typically this is a great one for me during the summer months as a light, nice, hydrating toner. And typically that's all the moisture that I need for daytime, because I get the remainder of the moisture that I need from some of my SPFs that have really nice skincare ingredients in them as well. So there's that. Another CosRx toner that I thought I would go ahead and recommend is their Galactomyces 95 Balancing Essence. So this is in the form of an essence here, but I use it very similar to a toner. It's a little bit thicker. This one is fantastic. Again, very soothing, very hydrating to the skin. A few of my Paula's Choice picks, because you guys know I started my skincare journey with Paula's Choice many years ago. I still repurchase so many of their products because they've just become go-tos for me. Again, cruelty-free, and what's great about Paula's Choice is there's never any fragrance in any of their products. So, but these are also some of the products that people say they don't like the smell of because they don't cover up the scent of the ingredients. My favorite toner from them is from the Skin Balancing line. This is their pore reducing toner. This one is fantastic. It has glycerin, it has chamomile, it has burdock root extract, it has jojoba esters, panthenol, ceramides, fabulous for those of you with oily skin. Another one that I really love is their Resist Weightless Advanced Repairing Toner. This one again helps to minimize enlarged pores. This has glycerin in it. It has niacinamide. Niacinamide is huge for me. You've heard me talk about it time and time again. This has willow bark extract, resveratrol. Fabulous. Those of you with more aging oily skin, I would recommend this Resist. Those of you that are maybe in your 20s and 30s, you could definitely do the Skin Balancing if you have oily skin. Both are going to be fantastic and are going to be wonderful. A couple more products from Paula's Choice. This is their Resist Daily Pore Refining Treatment 2% BHA. So we talked about beta hydroxy acid being wonderful in a toner or essence format. This has salicylic acid in it. This has allantoin in it, panthenol, again, glycerin, lots of really great ingredients in this one. And this is one of their cult favorites. I've used it for a number of years. It's fabulous. This is just the 2% BHA liquid exfoliant. This is salicylic acid. This is wonderful if you are looking for a very basic BHA. A little bit of this one goes a long way. Because of the slightly oily texture of this one, I really prefer to use this at night. This one I can actually use during the day if I want to. There's no oily texture to this one. So those are both fantastic. Love Paula's Choice. A couple of mists that I really enjoy. The Queen of Hungary Omorovicza mist. I probably wouldn't wholeheartedly recommend this one because this one does have a pretty strong scent to it. I believe it has orange flower essence. I think that's the scent that's in here. Anyway, I still like this one, but it's not one that I would be like, yes, everyone rush out and get it. However, this one, yes, get this. This is the Murad Hydration Prebiotic 3-in-1 Multi-Mist. I have fallen in love with this. I use this with my, you saw it yesterday when I showed you guys the demo of the Vanity Planet Essia device. This is the ultrasonic spatula. If you missed this video, I'll link it down below. But this one here is fantastic because it has prebiotics in it. Very, very good for the skin. If you have not looked into probiotics or prebiotics for the outside of your body, do some research on that. That's fantastic. Just a few more. This is the Galenay face vinegar. I know that sounds kind of creepy. This also has prebiotics and postbiotics in it. So another great one if you are looking to incorporate some prebiotics into the skin. This tones, soothes, and brightens the skin. This one's really great. I've really enjoyed this one. I actually need to get this out again because I think this one's gonna be great for summertime for me personally with my oily skin. So set that off to the side because I need to incorporate that again. Here is an Ulla Henriksen product. Now, Ulla Henriksen you have to be kind of careful with because these guys do use a number of essential oils. This is the Glow 2O Dark Spot Toner. This has high potency AHAs in it. So again, we're talking about the alpha hydroxy acids. This is going to help to keep your skin very smooth. Again, this is one that I work into the skin like an essence. And then lastly, another really great mist is this Wander Beauty Mist Connection Essence and Facial Toner. This one's fantastic. This one has a really nice, it's one that you shake up and then you like, This has a beautiful, here. Oh, that's so soothing. I love this one, but this one does have some lavender in it. Makes it smell amazing. It's very soothing. This is one that I like to use at night right before going to bed. It's just a nice way to refresh your skin. But again, soothing, nice. Just a great way to prep your skin for the remainder of your skincare routine. So that being said, do I think toners are absolutely necessary? Not necessarily. I think they're a nice thing to incorporate. I think you can get some other really great ingredients into the skin. Layering those ingredients is obviously really fantastic, but if you're on a budget or you just really want to keep things simple, I think toners are one of those things, along with maybe masks, that you can easily eliminate from your routine and you'll probably be just fine. Just make sure that the rest of the formulations that you're using for your serums or your moisturizers are really well formulated and that you're getting the ingredients that you need there. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Let me know if you have any questions down below. Again, I'll put the links for everything I mentioned here in the description box down below, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye.